Okay, so I've got quite a detailed video today to help you with wrist loading. So it's very, very common for people to get a pinching and a pain in the front of their wrist joint when they're in a loaded closed chain movement. Think press up, think quadruped. Dave is actually suffering with this problem right now. We were shooting a couple of other videos and he just snuck into me saying, can we do one on wrist loading? Because his wrist was actually hurting him, so great timing. Now, obviously, there could be a problem with the actual wrist joints and how they're moving, and it could need some therapy. So if you are struggling with this video isn't designed to just replace necessarily getting the right medical help to get that issue resolved. But I've seen countless times that rather than it being a problem with the joints in the wrist, it's a problem with how you're managing force through those joints, which we call load. So the way you are loading your wrist is putting too much pressure on a specific point, causing the pinch. So what I would like you to do, Dave, is I just want you to come into a loaded quadruped position. So come up. So this is the classic position people come into. Hands are nicely underneath the shoulders and the weight is going straight down through the wrist. But if I look at Dave's fingers, he has no tension through the front of his fingers, both sides, okay? So you can drop back. So what that's kind of telling us is that when he's coming into load, he's into a compressive loading pattern, not a tension loading pattern. So come back in one more time. So right now he's basically compressing, and you can actually see this by the way his scapulars are, that he's compressing all of his load and everything is sinking into this joint. So if we really push this, all we're doing is cranking into this joint more, causing him more irritation. But what's the fix for it? So if you come back on to fours. So what I want you to do, Dave, I'll do this with you, is you're going to place your hands onto the floor. Give me some external rotation, so try and point the pits of your elbows forward, like this. Try and point that towards me. Now what I want you to do is try and slide the floor away. Perfect. So the goal of this sliding of the floor is you're trying to press your fingertips into the floor, and then you're trying to literally slide it forward. This is going to create an activation of all of the finger flexors and the forearm muscles to help build tension into the system. Once you've got that nice sensation, as you can see, I can't pick his fingers up now. Okay, that means they're nicely loaded. Very slowly start to come up into a stop and make sure you're still sliding the floor away. Perfect. You can see he's still got tension in the fingers. Look what's happened to his scapulars. He's really normalized here too. So the goal in doing this is to really activate a lot of the finger flexors and a lot of the stabilizers and force producers of the forearm to help bring the movement more tension-based. So what Dave will be able to tell you now is he's generated a huge amount of tension in his system by doing this. It feels like a wound-up spring. And what's happening is now, instead of just sitting into the forearm joint, he's actually sitting into the tension of the fascial system and all of the muscles working together to help generate and manage the load. So again, what it looks like before, so don't load the fingers, just come and compress the joints how you would normally do the pattern. And what we see, straight into the scapulars, Lord going straight through the wrists, no tension in the hands, and this is what's causing him pain. And we're going to come back, spread the fingers, point the pits forward for me. Very slowly start to slide the floor away. We've got that tension in the fingertips, that's what we're after. Maintain everything, it should feel like a spring winding up. Now slowly come towards me, stop. Keep pressing away. If you've got someone, you can get them to check your fingers by just trying to lift them up, like what I'm doing. Keep coming forward. And again, we can see his scapular positioning is much nicer. Good, hold this. Now, hopefully, you should feel more tension on the back side of the forearm here than you do on the pinch there. Your green light is as long as you feel tension and everything working and you don't feel pinch, you've got a green light to move into this position. If you're still feeling a pinch, even with everything working correctly like this, that's time to get it further investigated by a suitable professional. I've seen this fix hundreds of people's problems of how they're loading through the wrists and seen this resolve kind of pinches so many times. So do spend a bit of time practicing this drill. It's not easy. It takes time to learn how to feel the tension going into the fingertips. And what happens a lot of the time is people load, get tension, and as they come up, they just stop pressing. So you have to learn how to maintain that tension the whole time. But this is an amazing trick to kind of learn, or amazing skill to learn into your system. So if you found that useful at all, please hit the like button and remember to subscribe. It really helps us with producing this content.